Shadows of Brooklyn. Chapter 1. The Murals of Foreboding. Under the flickering neon lights and the soft hum of distant traffic, the hidden alleys of Brooklyn breathed with an air of mystery. They were unlike the bustling streets adorned with coffee shops and designer boutiques. Here, damp bricks echoed with stories, whispers of lives lived in the shadows. Amidst this clandestine world, a reclusive street artist known only as Raven painted murals that cloaked the community in awe and dread alike. The light drizzle of autumn rain washed over the colorful spray-painted walls, blending hues into swirling chaos, each mural a vivid tableau of life, struggle, and a darkness that curled around the edges. Raven's latest mural depicted an eerie scene, a mother weeping beside her child, eyes wide open in frozen shock as a shadow loomed, red-eyed and menacing. It was here, in this evocative alley, that Claire Weston found herself drawn after being caught in the storm of her own life. Once a high-flying corporate lawyer in Manhattan, she now wandered the streets of Brooklyn lost in thought, trying to escape the suffocating confines of her office and the weight of expectations that hung over her like a dark cloud. Claire paused in front of the mural, her heart racing at the emotion it emitted. It was more than art, it was a premonition. Just days ago, she had read about a tragic incident. The news reported the mysterious disappearance of a child. Could this mural be a warning, she wondered? Or was it simply a reflection of society's fears, hidden in layers of spray paint? As she stepped back, she noticed small scrawls beneath the artwork, hashtags and cryptic messages. Watching from a distance, she felt the urge to uncover the message within. Fortified by curiosity, she decided to pursue the truth behind Raven's art. Chapter 2. Crossing Paths. Days turned into weeks, and Claire found herself returning repeatedly to the alley, drawn by the haunting beauty of Raven's pieces. Having left both her job and the comfortable life that came with it, the artist's work became a solace for her fractured soul. One evening, while she sketched her own interpretations of Raven's work, she sensed a presence behind her. Turning slowly, she found herself face to face with the elusive artist, a lanky figure, clad in a worn hoodie and splattered jeans, paint-stained fingers casually gripping a spray can. "You're not the typical admirer," Raven said, a slight smirk playing on his lips, his voice a gravelly whisper that seemed to fit with the nighttime ambience. "Is it that obvious?" Claire chuckled nervously, feeling a warmth rush to her cheeks. "I find your work captivating." Raven studied her for a moment before shrugging, as if weighing her words. Captivating or unsettling? "Both," she answered honestly, her heart quickening. "You seem to capture something deep and raw." Raven regarded her, intrigued. "You want to know what it means, each mural?" He paused, the intensity of his gaze piercing through her. "It's not always what you think." Claire felt a connection forming, an uncharted territory where two very different worlds collided. "I think there's more to it," she murmured. "Especially that one with the mother." "Yeah," he interrupted, his voice growing serious. "That one's real." Suddenly, the mist of Brooklyn deepened, wrapping them in a shroud of intrigue and something larger than themselves. A storm was not brewing in the sky, but within the fabric of their lives. In that moment, a shared understanding began to echo. Chapter 3. Into the Depths. Unbeknownst to Claire, Raven had his own burdens, a troubled past that drove his art. He had spent his life fighting against the dark corners of humanity, sometimes with nothing but a spray can and a vision. The questions surrounding his murals were woven deeply into his existence. "Meet me tomorrow at the old pier," Raven said, breaking the silence, a spark of mischief flickering in his eyes. The next day, Claire arrived at the dilapidated pier, its structure barely standing against the waves. With the bitterness of salt in the air, she spotted Raven, who was already sketching in a battered notebook. "What's the deal with the murals?" Claire asked as they moved closer to the water's edge. Raven looked out over the gray waves, his brow furrowing. "They reflect what's about to happen in this neighborhood. Hidden truths, events that have yet to unfold." At first, Claire doubted him. Surely art was merely a reflection of society. Yet the growing number of reported crimes in the area, each marked by a mural eerily predicting them, began to seep into her consciousness. "How do you know? What makes you different?" He met her gaze with an intensity that made her heart skip. "I see things," he admitted reluctantly. "Sometimes in dreams, sometimes just a feeling." It's as though I tap into a current that shows me futures, dark and light. Can you see what's coming next? Bursting with curiosity, Claire leaned closer. Raven shook his head. I can't predict every outcome. Only what feels right, what I have to share. Both aware of their shared investigation into unseen shadows, a bond began forming between them, an unexpected alliance. Chapter 4. Shadows of the Past. Days turned into nights spent together, deciphering the meaning behind murals. Their discussions ranged from theoretical to deeply personal. Claire shared her life as a corporate attorney, where every decision became a mere number on a spreadsheet, and Raven opened up about the demons that haunted him. One crisp evening, while working on a new mural that depicted a looming figure creeping through a dark subway tunnel, Claire noticed a twinge in her heart, a sense of dread. What happens if you predict something terrible? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. Art lets me prepare, Raven replied thoughtfully. It can alter the future, or at least bring people together to fight against it. Are you trying to save the world? Claire teased, but her heart stirred at his unwavering resolve. Raven met her eyes. I'm trying to save myself too. These streets have seen too much. We all get lost, but through this art, I'm trying to find a path. Claire felt the warmth of their connection, the shadows of their past experiences merging into a canvas of understanding. Just as she was becoming vulnerable, a shrill scream pierced the night. They turned to see a woman, her face pale and frantic, sprinting from the other side of the street, seemingly untouched by the murky dealings of the neighborhood. Help my son, he's gone, she screamed, her voice a chilling echo. Her words snaked around Claire, knotting her heart tightly. Suddenly, the mural they had just finished depicting a frightened child waiting for their mother loomed in her mind, and a surge of horror washed over her. Raven, we have to do something. No, he said, standing firmly. We can't interfere with what's already unfolding. Chapter 5. The Choice. Instead of falling into despair, Claire took a step forward, torn between following Raven's warning and helping the distraught mother. I have to, we can't sit here and do nothing. This may be what your art predicted. You don't understand, he pleaded. There are unseen forces at work. If we intervene, we might create a worse fate. Claire watched as the woman disappeared into the shadows, her heart aching with desperation. Do you really believe that art can save us, or are we simply bound by these chains of fate? Raven faltered, his voice laced with uncertainty. I've never regretted expressing what I see, he admitted. But destiny is tricky. Sometimes the act of creation binds us to its conclusions. Driven by instinct, Claire felt a surge of determination. I don't care about destiny. What matters is what we do now. The strange tension hung between them, but Claire knew she couldn't turn back. She rushed towards the chaos, leaving Raven watching silently, caught between two worlds, one that embraced chaos and one bound by shadows. Chapter 6. Connection or Chasm. As Claire sprinted through the narrow alleys, she felt exhilaration mixed with fear. The shadows danced around her, beckoning her deeper into an abyss. The mother's screams echoed in her mind, urging her onward. Where are you? Claire called into the darkness, panic consuming her. Discouraged but undeterred, she pressed on. I need to help you. Finally, she rounded a corner, and there she found the mother, frozen in anguish beside a darkened alley. He was just right here, the woman cried, her eyes wide with terror. Motivated, Claire dialed the police, her fingers trembling. The moment felt surreal as she watched other figures materialize from the darkness, hazy shapes resembling both danger and hope. She whispered a prayer to the universe, channeling all her fear into courage. Meanwhile, Raven stood at a distance, watching Claire's brave heart unravel. The shadows in the alley shifted, making it difficult to discern what awaited her. Then, as if sensing his presence, Raven felt a surge of determination ignite within him. He dashed forward, rapidly painting a small mural on the nearby wall, the embodiment of hope, a child playing with a sunbeam, an image that represented the life he hoped would return to them. The police arrived with sirens blaring, illuminating the night with blinding blue and red light. Claire didn't notice the mural he painted until she turned back, heart pounding as she tried to ascertain if her actions even mattered. In the distance, just outside of their vision, the faint sound of laughter echoed through the alley, the innocent giggles intertwining with the mother's worried wails. Chapter 7. Ties that bind. The police managed to locate the missing boy in an old warehouse, a mere 2 streets away, his spirit unbroken, just as the moon emerged from behind the storm clouds. What was once a night draped in fear transformed into one filled with immense relief. Claire rushed to embrace the mother who clung to her child, warm tears pushing away the earlier tension. "Thank you," the mother cried. "You saved him." The adrenaline surged within her. Yet, as she turned to search for Raven, she found him behind the newly painted mural, gripping his spray can, a somber expression gracing his face. "I didn't see any of this," he murmured, more to himself than to her. Maybe it was never supposed to happen like that. "Raven, the danger was real. Yet we saw the light in the darkness," Claire replied gently, sensing an opportunity for healing in their connection. But Claire's finger brushed against his lips. "Art doesn't create the future or prevent the past from shaping it," she said softly. "Instead, it creates connections, stories, and relationships. That's what matters." For the first time, Raven met her gaze with understanding. In that moment, the artist and the lawyer found an anchor amidst the stormy seas of their lives. Chapter 8. Rebirths. In the weeks that followed, the alleys of Brooklyn flourished with a sense of unity. Neighborhood children played freely, streets decorated with murals that reflected hope and resilience. Raven's art evolved, transcending his previous visions of dread. With Claire by his side, they became a duo, a street artist and a corporate lawyer, painting stories on walls and writing a new narrative together. The darkness no longer consumed them. Instead, they found healing in creation, chipping away the shadows that haunted them. In their struggles and revelations, they discovered something far more powerful than any mural can illustrate. A bond wrapped in understanding and friendship, an uncharted journey that beckoned them forward. Epilogue, A New Dawn. Under a vibrant sky ablaze with colors, Claire laid out freshly printed flyers for a community art initiative, poised to unite the neighborhood further. Raven stood beside her, the newfound spark of purpose illuminating his once troubled soul. "Are you ready?" she asked, grinning widely. He laughed, his expression warmer than ever. "Let's see what unfolds." As the sun rose, washing the village in glimmers of orange and gold, Claire felt confident that it was just the beginning of something remarkable. For in the shadowy alleys of Brooklyn, connections formed amidst the chaos. Art blossomed in every available space, and a future once clouded in uncertainty now shimmered with untold possibilities.